Once we've cleaned everything up and you've got your tags organized, we're going to go to the last part of what we're going to be doing for this semester with this particular project. We're going to be creating some scenes, and we're going to create some section views and also some interior shots that you'll be able to use perhaps some other date. An example of this is my current model, but an example of what we'll be doing is as follows. You see across the top here are different scenes, and these allow us to quickly toggle through, and you're going to make two 3/4 views, a front view in elevation, a right view in elevation, back and left views. Then we're going to do a floor plan. This is the first floor, the second floor, if you have a second floor, and then we're going to do some interior views. I only ask that you have at least 2 interior views, but you may want to do more once you get the hang of how this works. So mine include both the entrance, another picture of the looking from the kitchen into the living room, then from the back door looking into the kitchen, the bathroom looking toward the pocket door and kitchen opening, and then back to the back door looking at the stairway going up, standing at the first landing, and then standing at the second landing looking into the living room, and then at the top of the second floor looking down into the living room area, and then looking to the left and looking into the bedroom. To create these views, we're first going to have to start with making some section views. We do this first so that it doesn't become complicated afterward. There's a method to the progression of how we work. In order to do the section views, we're going to be opening a few new windows that you haven't used before. This will include the Styles window, and all these are located up at the window upper menu, Outliner window, and we're also going to get the Scenes window up. Now remember, you can move these around and utilize them so that you can sort of see what you're doing. The first thing we're going to use is the section tool. The section tool is located down here at sort of the bottom of the toolbar. These are navigation tools. This is similar to Google Earth. If you put a person in a particular location, it will set up the view from that area, and then this is the eyeball of that person. So, but right now we're going to use the section plane. Section planes work like a lot of other tools in SketchUp in that they kind of glom onto the different axes. So the red axes, the green axes, and also the blue axis. Now we're doing floor plans, so obviously we're going to want to go from the top view, and you can control these just like you can control the other tools with the arrow keys. So left is green, right is red, and blue is straight up and down. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And you can see that this is probably making a large section plane, but don't worry about that right now. You're going to get a little box that's going to come up, and you're going to make a section plane name. You're going to leave the word section in it because we're going to be looking at it in the outliner tool, which organizes everything alphabetically. So I'm going to put in section and then first floor. You can write first floor plan if you like. And we're going to put a symbol number in here. I'm going to use A for my first section. And what you'll see is in the outliner tool, this section name will show up down here under section. Now obviously you're not seeing anything right now, so we need to select the section plane, and I'm going to use the move tool, M, and I'm going to start to pull that up. And you can see that what this does is allows you to make a section. It cuts the model across. And I have 3 windows up here. Normally a section view, like a floor plan view, would be done at the 4-foot mark. That's so you can see things like where the kitchen counters are and things like that. But I'm actually going to raise mine a little bit higher because I've got some higher windows that I'd like to show. So I'm just going to pull this up perhaps to about here, and you can see that I'm getting those higher windows in the bathroom and over by the stairway. So I'm going to leave this here. And right now this is activated. I'm going to click the plus tool and I'm going to deactivate that, and it turns orange when it's deactivated. Then I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to deselect active cut. When I do that, the cut, then it shows me roughly where the cut is, but I also need to make another section view up here, so I'm going to need to see the whole model. Next, I'm going to go to section view again, and I'm going to click the up arrow tool here, and then click at approximately the height that I want to use for my section view. This one, I'm also going to call section again, but this time I'm going to call it second floor. I know not everybody has a second floor. And as far as symbol, I'm going to call this B. This is my second section plane. Now with this one, I can select it, and when I do, it makes it the active cut. And so again, I can take the move tool and I can move this up. I may want to show a little bit. I kind of want to keep it just below that roof line, but high enough that I can see the section views there. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to right click this and turn off the active cut. And now I can see the whole model. And if I scroll down here on the outliner window, I can see both my section cuts. With my sections done, I can now focus on the other views that I have to create for my scenes. I'm going to activate this cut. I'm going to come over here and say align view. And here is where you can actually see what it would look like. And I'm just going to deselect this. I'm going to use the selection tool and just click outside the box to deselect it. Under the styles menu, you can start to make a little bit of customizing for your model. Now you might notice that the fill might be a black color. If it's black and it's too much, you can always change that by clicking on edit menu here. Click section fill. For my model, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I could keep it light gray. And so there you can kind of see the section. A few other things you may want to do in this window is you may want to remove the axes points here, and also you may want to change it so that you maybe don't have the blue sky. So we're going to remove some of that as well so we can have a really nice clean model. I'm going to go over here to this middle box. This is the background, and I'm going to turn off the sky, and you'll see that when you do this there's an immediate change. So right now it's all one even color. If I turn that on again, you'll see the sky, but for our purposes, we'd like to take it off. So I'm going to take it off. You might notice that we have that SketchUp for Schools there in the watermark, and we'd like to remove it. So I'm going to select it here, and I'm going to click minus, and we're going to say, yes, we do. We want it permanently deleted. And then the other thing we'd like to do is get rid of the axes that are here in the model. So I'm going to click model axes. I'm going to uncheck that so that they go away. And then I'm also going to go back, and I think I'm going to make the whole thing white because it will be a little easier to work with. So I am going to go back to my background. Where it says background, you can see it has this gray color. I'm going to change that to a different color. The main focus of this is your model, so I would suggest you could pick a lighter gray if you wanted to, or a white. You might put this someday on a white background. and you might want it to be white so then you can crop the images and so forth as you need to. We're just going to set that model up, and now I'm going to go back to my section view and I'm just going to hide the section views, and then we can go ahead and we can start to create our scenes.